featuring Signal and Bowtied Ranger. This is news from 5D. I'm Otis 5D.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
So, condolences, which is such an insufficient word to people that are suffering right now. Life's a bitch, man. So, Bowtie Ranger tweets, if you think the libs in LA are going to abandon DEI, I hate the word libs for what it's worth, and climate change worship after these fires, you're wrong. I tend to agree with that. I won't be shocked if things change, but I would bet that they won't. History shows people don't just walk away from their religion, their cult. When the going gets tough, they double down on it. That's certainly what I predict. It's going to be further spiraling into climate change, denialism, as they call it. And now that's like the supporting tweet that we're looking at, and then the money shot comes from Signal. And Signal says, it's only when disasters like this wildfire happen that people start to see how broken California really is. And California is definitely a metaphor for a lot more than just California. It certainly includes like Vancouver, and it certainly includes like Western Europe, England, Paris, etc. How broken California really is, philosophically, culturally, and practically. The state has been dominated by a single ideological framework for decades, completely out of sync with reality. It feels to me that it's really like one solid decade. More than one solid decade ago, it was still pretty fucking lit. This fire lit. That was a poor choice of slang. This fire feels like a symbol of that failure, burning away the illusion of competence. I certainly agree with that. The facade, it just melted. Sadly, yes, countless people have to suffer before the system is forced to reckon with itself. Yeah. And dude, this is everything. I don't know why this is what comes to mind right now, but it's like that's like the fiat money system. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just go off the gold standard, 1971, and like, you know, hopefully not that much bad will happen. And now here we are, and like everything is shit, and everything is made of plastic, and everything is, all the food is poison because everyone is incentivized to just make things cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and give you a simulacra of food, you know, that just shove it down your gullet as you know, your waistline expands and your arteries clog and you fucking end up with myocarditis. Yeah. The burning away of the illusion of competence. I mean, to me, this goes back to, I don't know why I'm about to say that, but to Pizzagate. But really, I don't know that I'm going to explain that, but it goes back to like COVID. There was this, it was insane to me. I hate to like beat this dead horse on a day that should not be focused on that, but it's like the illusion of competence that these dumb fucks, bro, these fucking dumb fucks like Jacinda and fucking Lori Lightfoot, these fucking retards, bro, Fauci, these are like the dumb, all you have to do, Deborah Birx, you listen to these people for like the dude that made the rules in England and then was fucking that girl like during lockdown, and Boris Johnson having the fucking picnic. Bro, it was like, in the fucking Australians, that Sydney woman with the name, the fucked up name, and the Prime Minister of Australia. Bro, it was like, and almost everyone that I saw that I know in real life, when I looked at their social media, they were all in, and I was just like, oh my God, these people have just fucking fully bought in to the illusion of competence. Nothing good is coming from this. And like here we are. Here we are 5 years later, and inflation, like everything, every Western place is super expensive now on food and rent and transport and petrol, as they say. And homelessness just like the new normal, and now total failures of like basic governance and the basic functions of government to put out fires and arrest criminals. And I don't know. I feel like there's something very good about this, because the Palisades was like it's almost like the epicenter of Hollywood. It's where, and Malibu, the Palisades in Malibu, when I think of, to me, that's like the epicenter of all these people with their retard, as they call it, luxury beliefs. And just thinking like everything's fine, and like the problem is Trump and climate change as like the fucking thing burns around them. And it was metaphorical before. Like the burning was just like the creeping homelessness, and the fact that Santa Monica went from some kind of crazy utopia to something just disgusting and overrun with like fentanyl zombies, like it's fucking Skid Row 2.0 or something. And they were insulated from it, bro, with their fucking Mercedes and Teslas or Uber Blacks or like whatever. And it's like a fucking dark night of the soul. Now, this is painting a broad brush, because obviously there are people like James Woods whose house burned down, and he certainly wasn't like supportive of all of these things. But with that said, it's like you can't. I don't know, man. It's like if you hang out with a bunch of criminals and you don't do any crime, and then there's a raid and you get caught up in the raid, and you're like, I didn't even do anything. I sort of feel like there's this, that's not the worst analogy for somebody like James Woods, where it's like, well, the Palisades is still super beautiful, it's fucked up. We got to just get a change of leadership. And again, this is so, I'm such an asshole, like such a glib, presumptuous asshole to like make something like this while it's still like 0% contained, these fires. But I don't know. I do think that there's like a dark night of the soul that is upon humanity, and in particular like Western civilization, where you can, what's the famous glib line, you can do whatever you want, but you can't escape the consequences of whatever you do. And so the choices that are being made where you are going to affect you. And I don't think there are any easy answers. I don't think that there's an answer like just move to Portugal, or like move to Mexico City, or move to Bangkok and like all your problems get solved. I certainly don't believe any of that. But an adult relationship to existence is, if you're in a place where shit is that fucked up as it clearly was and is in California, like, I don't know. It's like if you, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how much you get to complain. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The main point is that the burning away of the illusion of competence is extremely scary. And I think it's a big part of the fifth generation war of all against all that we find ourselves in, where there isn't anyone to trust. Like, you can kind of trust people. Like, with health and longevity, can you trust Brian Johnson? You know, can you? I don't know. Can you trust those carnivore guys? I don't know. Like, who can you trust? It's like you have to figure it all out for yourself. And on one side of that, it's like, what the fuck? I can't figure everything out for myself. And it's like, well, yes, you can. And, well, that'll just take I'll have to spend all my time figuring. Yeah, that's like a role-playing game. That's like life is a role-playing game. You have to figure everything out. And you slowly level up as you figure more and more out. And sometimes you take a huge L, but you got to take the L. And I think that what I saw in Western urban culture was a real over-indexing on a belief in the illusion of competence. Like, oh, it's okay, it'll all just work. And people have been, I mean, dude, the competence crisis is not a new term. This stuff is not new. And now whether, you know, it started kind of with Boeing, and now shit's fucked up. Like, fuck it up. And I had all these friends. They were talking about like moving to LA, you know, in the past year or two. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And they're like, I don't know, seems great. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. You're in the illusion of competence. And I don't know. What can I say? Maybe they were right, you know, and everything will be fine. But it's like, I can't bet on that, man. And then here we go. Here we fucking go. And this is certainly not an I told you so, but it's certainly like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So anyway, go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.